pocket red glare, reppin' USA, so she go crazy. Wait for it, 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 hey.
Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Latino Free Minds, episode 161. Danny, how you doing?
Good. I'm glad I'm talking to you right now. I had a long day and I need to decompress. Actually, I think we're going to get pissed off right now talking about the subjects that we're going to be talking about. So never mind. It's going to be a longer day.
Hey,
So,
it's good, right, to let it out. But
yeah.
today we have a guest with us. You guys, a lot of people might know who he is, Ian Wendt. If you don't know who he is, I feel like as soon as they see him, they got to know who he is. If you know who we are, that's how I like to think about it. If you know who we are, you know who Ian is. And if you don't know who he is, well, he's just a conspiracy theorist. Ian,
That's right.
how you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. That's right. Just conspiracy theorists. That's me.
Hey,
Yeah,
we're
was gonna say,
conspiracy theorists all together here, but those conspiracy theories end up being facts. So conspiracy facts. That's the way we like to get it.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna tell you, bro. I saw you were live on Instagram. I was gonna say, if you want to add me, I can go live from my page too. I can't go live personally because I'm banned, and I've been banned for like, I don't know, a year and a half now. But if you add me to the live, I'll answer it, and then I could broadcast it from mine if you want. But if not, no big deal. Either way, let's roll.
All right, I'll see. Cause I do it on to make it go live from here. It's through the website. So
Got you. Okay, that won't work then.
yeah, I think it's it makes it complicated. But
Never mind.
nah, man. But either way, man, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just, we're out here trying to figure it out in this world that gas now costs what, it's $100 a barrel or something stupid like that. I don't even know what it is now, or what it's gonna be. But just trying to make it in this dumpster fire right now.
Yeah. And
Like,
I think
we're stuck in dumpster fire from dumpster fire to another one to another one. I can't count how many dumpster fires we're in right now.
They just keep getting deeper. You probably
Yeah.
talked about a lot of dumpster fires with Bobby last night, huh?
yeah, Gio and Christian had Bobby yesterday, and Bobby. Oh, dude, I love Bobby. Bobby is
Yeah, he's
like
hilarious. He's a good
hilarious,
dude, man.
but he's on point.
Yeah, and consistent. He's one of the few that's been consistent the whole time. So
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
That's exactly, before you came on, I was talking to Danny and we were talking about, the guys talking with Bobby yesterday and then yourself. And that's one of the things I said about both of you. I said, both these two dudes, like I've been following for a while and they're consistent. They're going to call shit out, how it is. And we need more of that. You know what I mean? And that's why I think you have the following that you have and the respect that you have, because not everybody's like that, man. We've seen it with all the MAGA influencers and shit. It's like they don't have the capability of calling something out that straight up we didn't vote for.
Yeah.
It's crazy right now.
Well, there are a bunch of followers. We see, Ian. What I was trying to describe is that mainstream media and the way that they were pushing propaganda is gone into the social media atmosphere now, and it's easy to see because they're all parroting each other right now, and it's blind loyalty or whatever the heck you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the legacy media is now combined. It's the mainstream media combined with all of these influencers and media talking heads that just continually spew the same propaganda, talking lines of the party. I mean, That's what it's come down to. If you can't look at these people and see that that's what they're doing, I can't help you. Like, I mean, it's like no matter what the guy does, talking about Trump, right? No matter what he does, it doesn't matter. These people will still continue to act like everything's fine and continue to push this propaganda over and over and over, to the point where now you have all these people that were so against the Ukraine war and so loud about the Ukraine flags flying in Congress and all these other things, right? For me, it's a matter of consistency, right? So when people come at me and they're like, oh, you're just an anti-Semite, you're just a Jew hater because you're bagging on Israel. It's like, no, dog, I'm doing the same thing I did with Ukraine. I don't care what that flag is. I don't care what country it is. I would be saying the same thing if it was friggin' Africa, and then I'd be called a racist. Like, you can't win. The point is consistency. And my message has always been America first. It has always been, I don't want another flag flying in the halls of Congress, right? I want the American flag flying in the halls of Congress. I want my politicians, the elected officials that all of us elected, right, to represent us, not foreign countries, not foreign governments, right? And I want America's interests to be taken care of. It's not a lot to ask for. It's really not. And you know, again, it's just about consistency. The same thing I was saying back when the Biden administration was bowing down and sending all of our money and doing everything that freaking Prezi Sweatsuit said every time he came into Washington, D.C. Like, I'm doing the exact same thing now with Satan Yahoo and the freaking regime in Israel. Like, it's the same thing. It's not about Israel. It's not about the Jews. It's literally just about, I don't want to fund another forever war. I don't want to be in wars. I don't want to send my money, my tax dollars to another country and be involved in their conflicts that we have no business being a part of. I want America first. That's what I voted for. And so if you are unable to speak out and hold your elected officials accountable to doing what you voted for, then you're nothing more than a loyalist. You're not a patriot. You're worthless. I mean, you are literally worthless. And you are unwilling. What I've said is basically you're either an employee of the party, right? That's what a lot of these mega influencers are. They're paid. They're paid propagandists at this point. They are the evolution of the politicians that we hate, right? One day, if we make it to this point, those people that we are watching be complete propagandists, those are going to be the new politicians that make all the decisions that we hate that are completely out of our interest as Americans. That's how this works, right? These people sell their souls for access and fame first, and then they get the money, and then it's money, access, fame, and control. And that's what they continue that's why they continue to toe the line, because they're unwilling to give that up. They're unwilling to be selfless. They don't know what it means. There's no moral compass. There's no integrity left. They have simply sold out for money, fame, notoriety, access, and control.
Exactly. I was just going to say that they don't want to lose access.
No.
Yeah.
And some of them are just afraid to, question their base. I mean, some of these people have built this huge base on MAGA, right? And now they're just stuck. Now they just can't say. Some of these people have freaking tattoos of MAGA and Trump on their body. Imagine getting a Trump tattoo and then being here right now and watching this happen and like having to defend these things. It's wild to me. It's wild. Like you are literally defending all of the things that we're supposed to hate as freedom-loving Americans. Foreign wars, foreign entanglements, higher taxes, higher gas prices, higher prices in general. The cost of living is astronomical right now, right? Veteran suicide is still all-time high. All of these things that we're supposed to hate and vote against as freedom-loving Americans and patriots is what's happening. And none of these people can say a single word because, like I said, they're either compromised or they're just so far down the freaking path that they can't turn around anymore.
Well, the only thing I have to tell those people is that, look, you don't have to be stuck in that predicament. All you have to do is just say the truth, is that, we got played thus far. One of the things that I talk about is that, growing up Mexican American, you can't. They put you in a box that you have to think and be a Democrat, and you grow up with that, and you don't even know why. But they associate it with to a minority, or lower class, mid or middle class, or something like that. So you think that you're just a Democrat just because of those things, and it's in the culture. And one of the biggest things that I had to do, when I was about 2021, is come to the conclusion that I've been manipulated, and it's okay to say it. I got played. We've been getting played. And if I wrote down my values, it's going to end up being on the right side. So, hey, I'm a conservative. And it's okay. People out there, it's okay to admit it. The important thing to do is what you do after that. So, a lot of people think that they got red pilled, and, they promote and, brag, or, whatever you want to call it, that they got red pilled 2015, 2016. And especially after COVID, a lot of people got red pilled during COVID. And then they're falling for this trap. I'm sorry to tell you, is that you did not get red pilled. You got played, and you continue to get played.
Yeah, I mean, dude, honestly though, here's the reality. They're not getting played. Most of these people are not getting played. I mean, I don't believe that. I actually believe that most of these people know exactly what's going on, and they are just morally compromised. And when you look at, I mean, for example, let's just talk about this current situation with Joe Kent, right? I don't know Joe Kent. I don't know him from Adam, okay? But what I do know is that he resigned, and in his resignation letter, he said a lot of the things that all of us have been thinking for a very long time. He basically confirmed everything we've been thinking about the Iran conflict and about Israel and about the Israel lobby and all those things, right? And it came months after the FBI blocked an investigation that he was trying to do into whether or not there was foreign influence, specifically with Israel, with the Charlie Kirk assassination, right? Yeah. That's who Joe Kent is. Joe Kent was the one that was going to do that investigation that was blocked. Okay, so logically, it would make sense that, who knows, maybe before that or maybe after that, but either way, it made Joe Kent start to think, what's going on here, right? And then you have Kash Patel, who literally ran on the idea that he was going to, expose the deep state and turn the Hoover building into a museum and all this anti-FBI stuff. I mean, he did multiple podcasts where he talked about that, right? That was his whole shtick. And now you're telling me that we trust the FBI? You're telling me that all the people that voted for Kash to do all those things to the FBI, now we trust the FBI? The same FBI that refuses to investigate the Epstein files? The one that continues to hide all these things, that continues to deflect, and the one that is now investigating the guy that came out as the National Director of Counterterrorism? I mean, that's not just a position. That's not just like a Joe Schmo. That's the guy. That is the guy that if there was anybody that would know that there was some serious, that we were compromised with Israel and with this whole Iran situation, it's that guy. That's the guy that would know. And so now he comes out, he gives this resignation letter, he confirms all of that, and all of a sudden they launch an investigation in him, but you can't launch an investigation in the Epstein files? And people look at that, and for some reason, they're just completely cooked mentally. They can't see that for what it is. And it's like, bro, what? How? What? When did we become pro-FBI? And when did we start trusting the FBI? And when did we, it's insane, man. It's crazy to watch this play out and to see the level of not only cognitive dissonance, but just pure ignorance out of the whole idea of my party and my party can do no wrong kind of thing, or there's some grand plan. It's like, dog.
Yeah, it's like they automatically, like you're saying, trust the FBI because it's quote unquote their guy, right? The guy that, like you said all that stuff leading up to getting in there. That's why a lot of us were probably like, all right, cool, that's dope. He's gonna go in, he's gonna do what he said he was gonna do, right? And it's not happening. It didn't happen. And I don't think it's going to happen. You know what I mean? I have no faith in it turning around from here on out. It's like, same goes with Trump and everything that he's been doing. It's like, I don't feel like it's going to turn around at any point now. I think we're going to get cooked in the midterms. And it's not going to be because of Candace. It's not going to be because of Tucker, not because of Megan. It's because we didn't do, well, not us. They didn't do what the fuck they said they were going to do.
Yeah, I mean, I have a whole different philosophy on the elections at this point. I don't think it's we anything. I mean, I could literally care less about the midterms. I like all these people are the same, literally the same. It's two wings of the exact same bird. Both parties literally care about the lobby that pays them the most. I mean, that's just the reality.
You're singing my song right there. Is that until we don't fix the reform, the lobbyists, there's nothing that is ever going to get fixed. We're going to argue about everything, and we're not going to fix anything until that gets resolved.
Dude, I saw a clip of Trump from like I don't even know what year it was, but it was back when he was talking about how Congress people are compromised because of the lobby that's paying them $100 million or whatever. And it's like, well, when they get that much, he literally says, well, when they get that much money, like that's it. They have to do what the lobby wants them to do. And they're totally compromised. And he's basically saying like, I can't be compromised, right? And then sure enough, Homeboy took $230 million from Mary Matelson. And and so by his own definition, he's completely compromised. He's being completely controlled. He has to do exactly what the lobby's telling him to do. And all of these people do. And it's not in our interest. It never was. And like, I even look at how MIGA, I'm going to call them MIGA from now on, just the MIGA influencers and media personalities, the way that they are trying to spin this whole thing with Joe Kent, right? They're showing clips of him basically saying the opposite of what he's saying now, like talking about how Iran is a threat and blah, blah, blah from like 2 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, first of all, yes, Iran is a threat. No one's saying he's not. Like that's a play on words. They are using a false connection to make it, it's basically their way of manipulating people into just not actually thinking about what they're saying because he's not saying they're not a threat. He was saying they weren't an imminent threat. And an imminent threat means now. An imminent threat means like they're going to attack us now. But these people are spinning his words and making it seem like he was saying they're not a threat at all. That's the first thing. The second thing is it's so incredibly ironic how they're trying to use that as the evidence that Joe Kent is a grandstander or a flip-flopper or a leaker or whatever, when it's like, by your own definition, Trump was literally saying 2 years ago, no more wars, no more this, America first, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Literally all the exact opposite of what he's doing now. So by your own definition, you should be using clips of Trump to say that, oh, Trump must be a flip-flopper, Trump must be compromised. Like, these people are hypocrites and they deserve to be not only called out, but these people are our enemy, okay? We have gotten to a place in this country where it is patriots versus loyalists, period, end of story. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. It does not matter if you're Republican or Democrat or whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter what religion you are. The fact of the matter is you are either a patriot and you want the best for your country and your people, or you are a loyalist and you are willing to say and do anything your party says because you just can't break free from this idea that they're your savior, right? You cannot cope with the fact that, I really do think this about like the MAGA people, all the crazies. I think that they need hope so bad that it literally crushes them to think that Trump is not the person that they thought he was. And they're unwilling to break past that barrier of like, okay, he's told us who he is. He's revealed who he is. We need to now move on and do what's best for us. They can't do it. They're just the useful idiots, just like the left.
That's what I was going to say right now. Is that that's exactly what we were pointing out about the leftists, and now we're doing it. And that's why I said earlier, it's okay to admit it. But the important thing is like exactly what you described right now is what we do forward. And I like the way that you put it is that you've got the loyalists and then you've got the patriots and that's the way to go. And the only way that we can continue forward is by speaking up and telling the truth. Now, we're going to have a bunch of people that are going to be talking all kinds of smack because, we voted for Trump and, we got played. But look, one thing that I said from the very beginning, I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop, because before 2015, I said the exact same words that you said. Left and right were the wings of the same bird. And there was a, glimmer of hope. And I'm an optimist. And everything that Trump was saying, everything was sounding good. And, he was backing up what he was saying. But now we're back to that same bird, left and right are the wings. And I heard something earlier that, they're following Trump because they trust his judgment. And that's their excuse for following him and what he's doing right now. But the one thing that I have to say to that is that you can say that, but when he's in lockstep with Lindsey Graham, that's out the window. Now we're
I
gonna
mean,
say that Lindsey
yeah.
Graham has been MAGA and is MAGA now? I don't think so.
I mean, yeah, if you look at the lineup right now, it's absolutely wild that anybody like just for a second, if you're watching this and you're finding yourself in the place you're defending Trump, I just want you to consider teams for a minute, okay? You got Lindsey Graham, you got Mark Levin, you got David Harris Jr., you got Benny Johnson, you got Graham Allen, you got who else?
Shapiro?
Cat Hurd. You got Ben Shapiro. You got Ethan Gunterman or whatever the frick his name is. You got all these insane Zionist people, Laura Loomers. Like, these are all the most soggy, uneducated, propagandist pieces of absolute dog crap that you can possibly imagine. And they're the biggest, like, dude, neocons and just the bottom of the barrel when you look at who they are and what they've actually contributed to society. And their track record when it comes to actual messaging. All of them are in the exact same category. They're all demons. They're all the exact opposite of everything that we should believe in. And then you look at the opposite side of the aisle, and you have the Tucker Carlsons, the freaking Candace Owens, the Ian Carrolls, rattle off the list of people, right? There's so much more credibility on that, the freaking Thomas Masseys, right? There's so much more credibility on that side when it comes to consistency and messaging and just being a good person in general. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so obvious to me. I actually was thinking about this morning, and it was funny because, even if you just consider lifestyle, like if you just consider the lifestyle of all of those people, most of them are fat, lazy, apathetic. Most of them couldn't walk up a hill without being out of breath. Most of them can't string a sentence together without a teleprompter. Most of them are just complete mockingbirds for everything, right? Like, there's no there's no morality, there's no integrity. None of the good qualities of a human being these people possess at all. But then if you look at the opposite side of the aisle, I'm not even talking about like the main personalities and the big talking heads like I just named. I'm just talking about people in general that, like, for example, are defending Joe Kent. Look at these people. They are strong, capable, like mostly alpha males, right? Who have been in combat or who at least understand combat or who are just high moral, high integrity individuals, right? Just that alone should be enough for you to be like, why in the world would I trust somebody who can't even keep their weight in check? Like, what makes... I know that seems very simple, but it's the reality. Like, the ability to keep yourself physically fit and mentally tough, because it takes mental toughness to be physically fit, to do those two things, to just be healthy, it creates another level of like integrity. And it puts you on another level as a human being. It's why Andy Frisella is constantly saying that personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion, right? And I look at all these people that are defending Joe Kent, that are speaking out, that are actually willing to look at each side and be objective and be consistent in their messaging and actually care about America and care about us and like real patriots. And they're excellent. Like, they're not perfect, but they're excellent. And then I look at the opposite side of the aisle and I'm like, what a giant pile of dog crap. Like, every single one of them are the bottom of the barrel. They're the type of people that I would pray were not near me in a time of emergency. right? Like if shit actually hit the fan, I would be praying that people like that were nowhere near me because they're
Yeah.
just liabilities. They're absolute liabilities. And that there's a lot to be said about that. And the level of trust and the level of confidence that you should have in who they are and what they're doing just by their lifestyle.
But one of the things that we always talk about is that these career politicians that you're describing right now, that are compromised in the Epstein files and stuff like that, and they're saying that they don't want to release the Epstein files because all the names on the Epstein files and all the details is because the government would just collapse. And what I tell people all the time is that let it fucking collapse because we've got way more capable people to do those jobs than those people that you just described. But I don't know why we have this notion or concept that if they go down, everything goes down. Actually, it will go up. There's a lot more capable people out there that can do this job and do it at a higher level that they can, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's the reason though. I think most people are just so
No, those are
inundated.
some of the excuses that they've given.
Yeah, but I think it's a scapegoat. I think most people are just so inundated with information and so like honestly so apathetic that they're not willing to care enough to actually do something about those files. And they know that. The people that are in them know that, right? I mean, I think I don't think I know. You guys would have to look up the exact number, but they just voted to what was that thing that Congress voted on? It was like the large majority voted to not prosecute.
To block the release of their sexual misconduct.
Yes,
Is that what you're
that's
talking
what
about?
it was. Yeah, exactly.
It's like 300 and something to like 5.
I don't know what
stupid
else
number.
you need. I don't know what else you need. Like that's not fake. That's real. Okay. I don't know what other kind of evidence you need from that, right? And it's both sides of the aisle.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like obviously these people are all compromised. Obviously these people are all doing some really evil, unimaginable things. And I mean, like, again, I just have to laugh because anytime I get in these conversations or anytime I go to make some content about this, I'm like, I don't know how people can't see this. Like, just look at the timeline. When did the Iran conflict start? It kicked off after the Epstein file drops, right? Like, it was almost immediately. And we were all saying that was going to happen. We were all saying they're going to create some. We hope we were wrong. I hoped I was wrong. I sure as hell hoped I was wrong about the fact that I thought that they were going to attack Iran, right, in order to cover up the Epstein files. But that's exactly what happened. If you actually trace it back, that's exactly what happened. And
I was waiting for the aliens to come out too. There's been so much freaking talk about that too.
I mean, yeah, dude, it's gotten to the point where I think people are so cooked. And I've talked about this many, many times, but the ultimate goal right now is demoralization. We are in the stage of demoralization. Now, many of us have seen that process like slowly rising. The really scary thing though, it's been happening for so long, but the really scary thing is that most people are just realizing that it's happening. Almost not even realizing that it's happening. But the process of demoralization is literally to inundate us with so much information and so much chaos and so much like incomprehensible evil and problems that it just makes all of us kind of throw our hands up and say, there's nothing we can do. And so we just have to go along with it.
Yeah, there's too many dumpster fires to put out all of them. So fuck it, let it burn.
And what that does, that's the stage leading up to normalization. And normalization is what they're ultimately going for right now, which is to normalize all of this. Normalize the sexual deviance, right? Normalize the child sex trafficking. Normalize all of this. Normalize war. Normalize all of it. That is ultimately where they're going right now. When I say they, I'm talking about the ones that are actually pulling the strings. I'm not talking about Trump. I'm not talking like they are pawns. Trump is a pawn. Our government is a pawn. I'm talking about the banks. I'm talking about the people that actually control the money and control, like, because ultimately that's what it comes down to. People don't say follow the money for no reason, right? That is ultimately what it comes down to. and that's what's happening right now. I mean, that's like the 100,000-foot view of it, but it really does all lead back to Zionist-run government, man. Like, that's just a reality. And anybody that can't see that at this point is either blind or compromised.
Yeah, one of the things that I've been kicking around in my head is that everybody says that Israel runs the United States, and I've had this bouncing around in my head is that Israel is a convenient pawn to have out there in the Middle East that the United States uses. They just have us thinking that they're the ones making the decisions, but it's deeper than that. Like you said, if you look into the history and who created and funded and started lobbying to give Israel, or the Jews their nation of Israel, the Rothschilds, man, it goes back to the money. And if you don't do your homework and you don't do, I mean, look, everything is really complicated. There's a lot of history anywhere you go. But at the end of the day, like you said, you follow the money and you get to the root cause of the problem. And not to be, I'm actually, I always say that I'm the optimist in the group instead of just being a pessimist and thinking that everything's going to go to crap. But what is the best outcome out of this? I mean, what has to happen? How does it happen? What have you thought about that? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, if this is playing out biblically like I believe it is, then the best outcome is that we go through the absolute horrific hell that we know that the Bible talks about in order to get to a better day when Jesus comes again, when our Savior comes to save us all, to reign on earth. Because right now, this is Satan's world. You guys, I'm sure people believe different things, but I believe that this is Satan's world. I believe that this is the adversary's playground. And our purpose in life is to literally live in Satan's world, but choose to follow Jesus Christ and choose to be good instead of be evil, right? And many of us are passing that test, but many of us are also failing it. And at the end of the day, because it's Satan's world, we know that he is going to continue to reign, and terrible, terrible things need to happen before things can get really, really good, and before ultimately good can win. So if it's biblical, like, we're really just on that trajectory at this point, and it's like, what can you do? Well, the best thing you can do is be aware but not be consumed, right? Because there's certain things that you can control and there's certain things you can't control. The things you can control are yourself, right? What kind of person are you? What kind of person are you when you, like, do you show up for your family? Do you show up for your community? Do you show up for the people around you? Do you have high integrity? Are you trying your best to be Christ-like, right? Are you, ultimately, that, especially as men, our best option right now is to become the best versions of ourselves for ourselves, for our families, for our communities, to serve and to do all the things that all of these people who are evil don't do. The best defense is offense. Not to like plug or anything, but this is why I just started the modern Exodus. I mean, the idea is like this modern decaying world is decaying. It's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna get better. I think people are holding on to this hope of like a new day, but dude, Rome is crumbling. Rome is falling. And it's falling because of the fact that people have turned their backs on God. And they have succumbed to evil and to all of the things that, that make Satan's world run. And many people are choosing him over Jesus Christ and over the light. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I am not. I am not a perfect man. I have many flaws, right? But at the end of the day, the modern Exodus is all about helping men not only come together and form a brotherhood where we can actually be strong and be a tribe of strong men that are able to lead ourselves, lead our families, and lead our communities, but also just exit this matrix and this modern decaying world that is just so out of whack at this point and out of control, completely out of our control, right? And That's what we can do. I mean, that is ultimately at the end of the day what we need to do. And we can keep on raising awareness, and I always will. I'm not going to stop. I mean, I've been given a platform, and so I'm going to do my best to share truth and to raise awareness and, you know, try my best to be the leader that I need to be or that I'm trying to be. But at the end of the day, me screaming in my phone and telling people things is not going to change everything. It's just not. I mean, it takes enough people saying enough is enough to make that happen. And unfortunately, not to be the doom and gloom, but I don't think that there's enough people that would do that, right? I think we're at the point where apathy is going to be our downfall. I've been saying this for so long. Like, nations don't fall and people are not conquered because of, you know, corruption or tyranny. They fall and the people are captured and they are, you know, taken down because of the fact that they just become apathetic. They stop actually doing what it takes to stop the people from taking control of them and from making the nation fall. I mean, that's what we're watching. People would much rather, you know, put a comment in a comment section than actually do something to make themselves better and the people around them better. That's just the reality. It's a sad reality to face, but it is the reality.
And it's apathy and fear too, because there's a lot of people that could speak up and say things better than I can, better than you can. But, you know, hey, I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to lose the relationship with this person. You know what I mean? There's still people that have that fear of being what do you call it, ostracized, or just, hey, get this person out of here. And honestly, I think there's way more of us that feel this way, but, you know, maybe not enough of us are speaking out, you know?
Oh, no, that it's not a maybe. It's a definite. There's not enough. I mean, imagine that there. I just sometimes like imagine there was tens of thousands of people like me, like you, like all these other people that speak. Like, imagine that was happening. It's not happening. If it was, we might actually be making a difference and we might have a fighting chance in hell. But it's not happening, right? It's not enough people. It's not enough noise. It's not enough standing up. The whole idea of ants versus crickets or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It takes all of the ants to stand up to the crickets, not just a group of the ants. It takes all of them. Otherwise, we don't have the power that we actually have.
Yeah, I know we've gotten people like, oh, you know, how do I help out? What do I do? And it's like, all you got to do is use your voice. Use your voice. And you can ignite so much change, because if you get more and more and more people, it's like, dude, like you said, we can make a huge impact. But, you know, it's getting people to actually participate other than just complain, because that's, you know, that's where we end up sometimes too. And you just get people complaining, but they never do anything about it. Oh, I'll sit this out. I'm gonna ignore this, or like you guys were saying earlier, it doesn't matter anyways.
Yeah, it's not only that, it's also the fact that I think most people have gotten to the point where they've outsourced basically all of their sovereignty. I mean, I just had a comment. I had a conversation today with somebody. I don't even remember what the person was. They were in my comment section, and they were basically like, all you do is talk about problems. You never present solutions. And I'm like, my brother in Christ, I present the solution literally every single day. It's just not the one you want, right? Mm-hmm. It's not storm the Capitol and, you know, down with the government. It's like, because that's not real, right? You and your Punisher t-shirt are not going to go and overthrow the government. Like, you're just not. It's not how it works. That's why Rome actually fell, because they didn't have a contingency plan. They went and toppled it, and then once it was toppled, they had nothing to replace it with. Because it's one thing to say, okay, yeah, we can do this, and we have a lot of good people, but it's like, okay, but what does that mean? What does that look like? And there's no plan and no organization when it comes to that. So that's not a realistic plan. It's not realistic, right? It's just anarchy. And anarchy is only going to plunge us deeper into problems and deeper into chaos and deeper into downfall. That's ultimately what would happen. So the solution, like I said, I already said it. It's literally personal excellence, personal sovereignty. It's standing up and actually doing something to take your life in your own hands, to get in control of the things that you can control, your health, your family, right? The people around you. who you are, how you show up, and you're prepared, right? Being prepared for the worst. That all of those things are ultimately what you can do now. Because I really hate to break it to everybody, but the ship is burning. Okay? It's burning. And there's not enough people that are willing to actually stand up and extinguish it. So right now, you are doing your best to survive in the fire, but like, you have to. But going back to this conversation, he was basically saying, well, you never present the solution. It's like, first of all, why am I the one that has to present your solution? That's the problem, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to be given the answer. Everybody wants to be given the path, okay? And here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. The plan of the devil, the adversary's plan, is to eliminate free agency. It's to eliminate the ability to choose. It's to eliminate sovereignty. Because ultimately, sovereignty and choice and agency is what separates us from the devil. We have the choice to follow God. He no longer has that choice. It's been taken. It's gone. He is the devil. He is the adversary. His followers, they're done. They're cooked. We still have the ability as children of God to follow God. That's through agency. That's through choice. That's through sovereignty. Those are our greatest gifts. And that is the plan, is to take that away from us. And it's not only being taken away physically in many cases, but most people are literally giving it up, right? How many people nowadays just want you to tell them what to do, what to think, and how to do it? And now you talk about when AI comes in, AI is the next step of that. Because now you're not only willingly giving these things up, now you have a tool to outsource all of your sovereignty, right? To make decisions for you, to think for you, to work for you. And that is ultimately the machine. That is ultimately the greatest plan of the devil. And so that is the problem. The problem is that everybody wants the answer and wants someone else to do it for them. They're not willing to do it for themselves. And then the other aspect of that, you mentioned it, is fear. But it's not fear of what will happen to me, in my opinion. I think maybe some people have that fear, but I think the greater fear is if I stand up, not enough people will stand up with me. And I'll give you an example, and I've given this example in many different podcasts, okay? So I'm kind of a broken record for anybody that's listened to all those, but I'm gonna say it again because I think it's important. During COVID, okay, I was kicked off of dozens of airplanes. Because I just simply wouldn't wear a mask. I refused to wear the mask. And so I was kicked off those planes. But here's the thing. If in the moment that I was being stood up and escorted off the plane, if in that moment 10 people behind me stood up, took the mask off, and refused to wear it, what would have happened, guys? What do you think would have happened?
It would have chilled out.
Not only that, how many more people would have done the same thing?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe almost the entire plane. Because everybody knew that it was bull. I don't care what anybody says, okay? The best way to tell is after the COVID mask thing was lifted, look at how many people were no longer wearing masks the next day in the airports, right? So that just tells you how many people knew it was bull, but they were only doing it because they were just to comply, right? Why did they comply? Why did they take off in that plane and wear that mask? Because not enough people stood up and didn't comply. One guy not complying is not enough. But if 15 people stand up in a plane, all of a sudden now you have a movement. Now you have more people, and now you feel the courage to stand up with other people and make a difference, right? And then the plane either doesn't take off and it causes major problems for the airline, or that sucker's gonna take off regardless of whether or not you're wearing a mask. And it's going to crumble the entire narrative. Because then what's going to happen when everybody on the other planes hears about that happening? Right? Yeah. But that never happened. Why? Because too many people are too apathetic and too willing to comply solely because they have the fear that not enough people will also choose to follow them and choose to stand up with them. That's our main problem. And that comes from isolation. And that isolation is manufactured. These people have been isolating us for decades. Isolating us as individuals, isolating our families, isolating us based on race, based on religion, based on like it's complete divide and isolation. And it's the main reason why we are all in the state that we are in, right? We cannot stand unless we stand together. United we stand, divided we fall. You could add isolated to that. Isolated, we die. Tribes didn't survive in the past. Like tribes survived because they were tribes, right? The people that were lone, like the lone cavemen or whatever in the days of tribes, they didn't survive very long. They knew that they needed more around them to be strong enough to survive the elements and whatever came, right?
Yeah.
That's been taken away.
Yeah, no, I mean, one of the reasons that we started the podcast is because, identifying the manipulation. We're getting hit from all angles as far as the manipulation goes, and that manipulation leads to divide and conquer, and not thinking for ourselves anymore. That's a big one too. Is that like the story that you told? They want the answers because they can't think for themselves. So I know we live in a world of convenience. You instead of cooking at home, you can stop and order something. Now they've even made it more convenient. Now you can. What's the app? I don't even use it, but you order the food and it comes to your doorstep now. You don't even have to get your ass off the couch anymore. So we're living in this era where it's making it a lot easier for you not even to think for yourself.
Yeah. And I would challenge the fact that you said that they can't think for themselves. That's not the case. They can think for themselves. They're just choosing not to. And when what you're talking about is something I've always also said is expediency is the root of all evil. It's not money. Money is not the root of all evil. Money is a byproduct. Expediency, in my opinion, is the root of all evil. In other words, getting something getting something faster than you deserve it or faster than you should get it, right? So if you think about any crime, if you think about any evil, anything like that, most of it is done under the pretense of expediency. I want this faster than I deserve it, so I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to get it, right? Rape, right? I'm going to do this because I want this faster. And I want it in a way, like I can't get it any other way. Like this is how I'm going to do it, right? Or even just something
look into it. Putting the work into it. It's like you said, you have to put it into a relationship, and then you end up with a person that you can have intimate relationship with. And the money, instead of robbing a bank, you go out and you work your ass off, you get promoted, you get that raise, and you've got that capital. Yeah.
And so that, like, if you think about how many people are outsourcing their sovereignty and are resorting to any means of expediency necessary, you can see why society is the way it is. You can see why technology is good. Don't get me wrong, it's a good thing. I've built amazing things on this little device here, right? Like technology it's amazing, but it's also extremely detrimental. It's literally one of the worst things that's happened to us as a society. And why is it that it was created in the first place? Expediency. We were making everything faster. Communication, information, knowledge, like this thing makes everything faster, right? It gets you everything faster than you would normally get it if you didn't have this. And so that's why I say that. That's why I say that expediency.
You could manipulate people even faster too, because when you talk about expediency, it's like, and just kind of going to the angle of media, influencers, whatnot, dude, they see something, they post it, and it's like, hey, that wasn't even right. And then they don't correct it, or if they do correct it, nobody sees the correction, right?
The damage is already done.
It's already done. And
they don't care.
They don't care either, right? Because they got their views, their likes, their whatever gets them high. And more followers and all that stuff. And I think, like, for us, it's funny because like we do content, right? But honestly, dude, we really don't care if we, from day one, we would put out our podcast, our clips or whatnot. If you listen to it, cool. If you didn't, cool. I don't care. As long as that one person hears it that needed to hear it that day, I can be cool with that in my mind. Um, and we've been like that from day one. We don't care about followers. We don't care about likes. We know there's certain topics that when we talk about them, yeah, this clip isn't gonna do that well. And it's like because we know what people respond to now, and it just, but it doesn't drive us. It doesn't make us who we are. It's like we are who we are, and you either like it or you don't. You know, and I think that's kind of putting it all together. It's like that's the problem with some of the people you mentioned. It's like no, they have to have that attention. They have to have that quick. Oh, I was first. I was right. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it's not even right. But that's technology, right? It's got its good. It's got its bad.
Yeah, well, and now it's gotten to a place where the information is so fast and everything changes so fast that it doesn't even matter. Nobody can keep up. It's no longer a matter of who got to it first. It's a matter of who got the most important information out. And that's why it's also becoming a lot easier to spot the propaganda, because the propaganda is the fastest and current information. That's just the best. Like that's the best way I can explain to people. If you want to be able to spot the propaganda, look at whatever information comes out the fastest and the most, and that is the propaganda. And
Yeah.
if you really want to see the truth, it's usually the stuff that takes a minute. It's usually the stuff that takes 24 hours minimum, right? Minimum. And
I
then
forget what it was. Was it Venezuela or the first Iran thing? Dude, yeah, you see people just automatic just posting do, and it's like honestly, I don't even know what the fuck happened. Like I see what happened, but I don't know what happened. And Danny's kind of the one that kind of put this in my head as we started doing all this. It's like, no, you got to wait and see what actually happened before you
yeah,
start. And there's a lot of people that don't. It's just they throw it out. It happens. It's out. And yeah, it's
And then you take the bait, and then
yeah.
it builds your perspective moving forward, and it's completely wrong. And then you get trapped into the what you said, Ian, is that then you get trapped into this thing where you already talked about it, you put yourself in that box, and now you can't get out of it, even though you know you're wrong, but you're stuck. Yeah, man, it's ugly what's happening out there, but working on ourselves, like you said. I even see. I don't know what you think about this, but these Christian Zionists that it's like a new thing now. Is that if you're a Christian, you have to be a Zionist, and you have to
Christian
support
Zionism
Israel
is an
no matter what.
oxymoron, dude. It's an oxymoron. Christian Zionism is literally the biggest oxymoron on the planet. You cannot be like, oh, this one drives me insane. The
I'm right
whole
there with
premise,
you.
the whole premise of Zionism is built on a belief system that doesn't believe or worship Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is the center of the Christian religion. That's why it's the Christian religion.
Right. Yeah.
And the people that we're supposed to like adore and protect and think they're the chosen ones, like, dude, they don't believe in Jesus Christ. They actually believe in the opposite. They want to usher in the Antichrist. The idea of Zionism is 100% a manufactured political movement. It is not a religious movement, and it is not based in truth. It is based in politics. It is based in garnering support for the state of Israel, which is why Zionism grew right around the time of the creation of the state of Israel. And it's just a matter of they infiltrated our churches, they infiltrated our Christian faiths and the mega churches and all these places with the idea of Zionism, but it is fake. It is not real, right?
100%. There's too many examples. I saw clips of people quoting, the Bible and stuff like that, and they forget the most important one is that Jesus Christ came to give the new and eternal covenant, and that will end all of the arguments, all of
I
them,
mean,
right there and
it's
there.
well, and that's why these people don't focus on the New Testament. They focus on the
No.
Old Testament because
You just
the
go to
Old Testament
Genesis.
is the old law. The New Testament is the new law. Jesus Christ came to fulfill the law. He is the law now, right? He is that's what he became. And so that's why these people think he's a false prophet. That's why these people literally don't think that he's the Son of God or any of the things that we as Christians believe, right? These people are literally the Pharisees. They are
Yeah.
the ones that
They're
got
the
him.
wicked tenants. I say this all the time. Yeah, they're the wicked tenants.
Yeah. And like, okay, so even if you want to consider the idea that the original Jews, right? Because ultimately, when he said that, like when he was ministering to Jews for sure. He was ministering to them, and he was saying, you're doing this the wrong way. Like, you're still doing this the old way. I am the new way. You need to do this now, right? Why? Because I am the Son of God. I am the one that you have been waiting for, and I am now here to fulfill the law. So that is true. And if you consider that, if you want to believe that that those people that I'm speaking of are God's chosen people or whatever, okay, cool. But even if you believe that, the Bible is very clear on the fact that ultimately at the end of time, in the last days, even those people have to turn back to God and have to realize that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, the Savior of the world, and the only Messiah. Like, that's, whether they're chosen or not, it doesn't matter. Everyone is going to come back to the same place, which is worshiping Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
There's no...
I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I've been reading the book of Acts for Lent. And honestly, man, like, I'll be reading it and I'll just say, like, in my mind, I just go, man, that's literally how a lot of, like, the Pharisee, right? The Pharisees, like you said, it's like, that's what I see today. I see that same attitude. I see the same type of criticism or just, going after Paul and Silas, because they were saying, hey, you can talk to the Gentiles now. They got the Holy Spirit. And they're like, nope. And trying to, jail them, beat them, persecute them for, speaking about Jesus. And it's like you said, they don't believe in it. Hopefully one day they turn around. I pray that they find Jesus. But for us to blindly just follow and say the current modern day Israel is what we need to, bend the knee to, or whatever you want to call it. It's not it.
I mean, bro, literally today, I think it was today. I want to say it was today. I don't know. I can't keep up anymore. I'm pretty sure it's today, though. Netanyahu literally said that Jesus Christ has no power over Genghis Khan.
Yeah, that's today.
Like, bro, what? What are you?
And
What
he
are you
said,
talking?
he said
What are
after
you
that,
talking about?
he said evil will always beat good, or
So-
something along those lines.
So going back to what I've been talking about, in a small way, he is correct, but only because what we believe, or what we should believe as Christians, is that right now, once again, it's Satan's world, okay? So technically, evil is beating good now, but that's temporary. That is very temporary. He's making it seem like it's just forever because, again, he doesn't believe in Jesus Christ. But we know that it's temporary and that ultimately Jesus Christ has all power over Genghis Khan, over all of these people, over the world. So while evil may have power now, temporary, right? Jesus Christ ultimately at the end will have ultimate supreme power and always had. And if Jesus Christ really wanted to freaking strike down somebody right now, he could, because Jesus is all powerful, right? So what he is saying is absolute blasphemy. But you still have Christians that are like, yeah, this guy and his nation, let's support him.
He gets a 5-minute standing ovation in our nation's capital. Yeah, that guy.
Well, that's not because of religion, though, dude. That's not because of Zionism. That's because of money.
There.
That's because of every single one of those people getting a fatty paycheck from that guy. That's why.
No, but my point is that those are the words coming out of his mouth, and they still give him that standing ovation like that. It's like they're talking out of both ends.
I mean, it's because it's like you said, dude. They're worshiping the wrong things. They think that they're worshiping the right things, but they're worshiping the wrong things. And they're no better than the Pharisees and the people that Jesus Christ came and ministered to and said, "Hey, dummy, I'm the guy. Like, follow me, right? I am the life. I am the bread. I am the follow me, right? Like, I'm the one that walks on water. I'm the one that I am the savior of the world. And you guys are all following false priests and false gods. That's ultimately what's happening. And
And
you know,
they're putting a lot of effort and money behind this this push with the Christian Zionism. Huh?
the Hasbara campaign.
Yeah. And you know, it's another divide and conquer. I mean, like I told you, we're getting hit from every angle, and now this one is right in our face, and there's no denying it.
No, and I mean, if you really like this, we would be here for a really long time. But at the end of the day, like, what everybody needs to do is get really familiar with the Noahide laws. They need to get really, really familiar with, I think it's Mashach or something like that. That's how they say it. It's their Messiah, their Antichrist. Like, there is a very good argument. It's not totally confirmed, and I'm just everybody's favorite conspiracy theorist, right? But if you actually dig into this, there's a very strong argument that Netanyahu and the Israeli regime and all of these people are actually trying to fast track the end days and usher in the Antichrist and build.
They want to get the temple built.
Yes, and so in order to do that, what you have to understand is that for the Antichrist to come, all Goyim, all Christians need to be wiped out. Like, that's that's the reality. That's literally part of it. But then on top of that, they have to turn the entire world against them. And so there's a strong argument that all of the rise of anti-Semitism is actually completely manufactured by them themselves, because they're trying to usher in this Antichrist and the end days. And it's like, well, if you wanted to turn the entire world against you, you would murder an entire population mercilessly and film it, right? Because that's what people don't seem to question and ask why. Why did they live stream the entire Gaza genocide, right? You could have just done it in a vacuum. You could have done it and nobody would know the difference, but you live streamed it. Why? That would be one way to turn the world against you, which they basically have. The other way would be passing things like anti-Semitism censorship laws, or calling anybody that questions government corruption or steps outside of this, this box of their agenda, this Zionist agenda, hateful and demonic and everything else, right? All of these things would create enough hate to turn the whole world against them. And now with the Iran situation, I mean, dude, they just bombed the freaking South Par gas field. That is the largest gas field in the world. And Trump himself came out with a statement, by the way, and confirmed everything that Joe Kent said. Like, literally said, oh, I had no idea that was happening. And then, hey, you can't do that anymore to Bibi. And then Bibi gets up and says it, right? But on top of that, they closed the Hormuz Strait, and they're close to closing the El Mandeb, I think it's El Mandeb Strait, which is the second strait, right? Which gives access to the Suez Canal. So now all of the ships for all of every nation have to go all the way around Africa to get to their destination, which adds 14 to 17 days. Do you know what that's going to do to the economy? Do you know? Nobody has a clue what that is going to actually do. And it's because of Israel. It's because Israel decided to bomb Iran's oil field. That's why. It's not because of us. It's because of Israel. Once again, they have gotten us into a ridiculous bar fight. And not only do we have to fight the fight and clean up and pay for the damages, they walk out the back door scot-free with free education and free healthcare. F these people, dude.
Yeah. We keep talking about our tax dollars, and we just keep getting hit with more taxes and more taxes. And I keep telling people, with all the corruption that they keep finding, it's like they find, $1 billion under this rock, $1 billion under this other rock, $1 billion under another rock. And then they think that if we don't get taxed, they got us thinking that if we don't get taxed the way that we do, things are going to fall apart. Like people wake up, it's like,
And now they're asking for $200 billion more for the war. Hegseth literally just asked Congress for $200 billion more. Where does that come from, guys?
you're
Us
welcome.
Yeah.
You're
How much
welcome.
was your gas when you woke up this morning?
out here, gas, the highest I saw was 658. Yeah.
Like, I'm just a doomer, guys. I'm just a doomer for questioning the fact that every
Good, bro.
promise that was made has been broken, and like, just
Yeah.
because I'm not freaking kissing Trump's feet, and instead I'm worrying about feeding my family every week and having enough money to pay for groceries or gas, or heaven forbid, chase the American dream and build a business as a small American business owner, right? Or stand up for, I don't know, freedom of speech, or like any of the other freedoms that we're supposed to have as Americans that are being questioned by another foreign government that literally should have no say over anything that I do in my life.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just a doomer, guys. I'm just an anti-Semitic, Jew-hating doomer.
Yeah. What's wrong with you and your common sense?
You guys.
Yeah, bro, like, I literally feel like I did in COVID. I feel like when I will never forget walking down the moving sidewalks and like being the only one in the airport not wearing a mask and just looking at the people looking at me like I'm an alien, and me thinking like, what the hell is wrong with all of you? This is insane. All of you are afraid of the air. Like, this is crazy. And I was one of
gas stations I got kicked out of because I wouldn't put a damn mask on. So it's
and
like at that point.
yeah. And it's the same thing, dude. Right now, I'm looking around and I'm like, how the hell can you guys not see this? Like, you were so good at seeing through the COVID stuff and the BLM stuff and the Ukraine stuff and the Biden corruption and all this stuff. And now it's like the blinders went on, because I know why. It's because now it's not based on politics, and it's not based on race, and it's based on faith. So now people have to question their faith, and that's a lot harder to do. It's a lot harder to cross that cognitive dissonance line when it comes to your faith versus anything else. And that's why these people are so cooked, because to question what's happening right now is to question their faith. And then on top of that, you have all the people that are just, like I said, they're just paid or freaking blackmailed. But anyway.
Oh man, I think I think that you got to keep doing what you're doing, because I asked you about your clips earlier before we went on,
Yeah.
and it's like your stuff is thoughtful, man. And again, you're just pointing out what's there. Yeah, and it's funny because you just said, like, I can't believe people can't see this shit, and you're pointing out what's there, and most of the time you put some sort of evidence to what you're saying, and I would tell you keep doing it, man, because I think you're definitely reaching people, and we need more people like that, like Bobby. Just keep being you guys, and what you're doing with the modern Exodus, that's awesome too, man. That's helping men be better, and
I've got a
that's
question
somewhat
about
newer.
that.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but what can you explain that to me? I don't know what it actually does or anything.
Yeah. So it's a men's group, dude. I started it about a month ago with Clyde. I don't know if you follow Clyde Bosch, but he and I started this, and it's a men's group. So we have a Discord. We have an online Discord group, and the Discord chat itself is free. And I think right now there's a little over 600 guys in there nationwide. We're in every state and 8 countries at this point, I think. And then within the paying tier, the founders, right? That's there's 320 members, and it's $50 to be a paying member, $50 a month. And by the way, anybody that looks at that and says it's too much, like, dude, that is just enough to run this. It is just enough to freaking get by, right? We still owe money. We're not making any money off this, but it's just to operate. Like, we just got done with our first retreat, because this is not meant to be an online like coaching group. That's not what this is. It's not like coaching group fluff. This is literally in person, connecting men all over the country. We talked about isolation earlier, right? The biggest issue right now, I believe, in society is that men are isolated. And I read a stat somewhere, and I don't remember the exact number, but it was like over 50% of men don't have one friend that they could call at any given moment. That's insane to me. That is crazy. And so I just recognize that there is an absolute need to get men together and to do all the things that I've talked about, right? Train, prepare, even just bond and like create a safe space for men to talk to each other and to get to know one another and just to create these tribes. And if we can do that, we might actually be able to, take care of our families and take care of our communities, regardless of what happens with the economy, regardless of what happens with politics, because these people don't care about us. The politicians, these people on both sides, if you still think that these people care about you, then you are cooked. They don't care about us. So we have to care about ourselves. We have to form strong communities ourselves. And then we might actually have a chance to, somewhat control our local systems at least, right? And it's not a militia. It's a group of men where we get together and we do all the things that men should do to become the best versions of themselves, for them, for their families, for their communities. The whole idea of the modern exodus, like I said, is we are exiting this modern decaying world and we are taking as many men with us as we can. We have, I think there's 9 chapters that are forming around the country, different states that are getting like presidents and have, 5 or 6 or more guys together that are meeting up bi-weekly. Even if it's just like last night, I had my first chapter meetup last night with a bunch of guys, and we just had we sat around a fire. We learned about ham radios, and we ate hot dogs and talked about, men stuff, and that was it. And we also just got done with our first retreat in Dallas, Texas, where we trained on a range for 9 hours with a former Green Beret, pistol and rifle training. And then that night we played poker with 9mm because we didn't have any chips. So that was fun. And then again, just talked around a fire. And then the next morning we got up and we learned tourniquets and we learned first aid and stop the bleed techniques and things that you need to know as a man to be able to help your families and your community, right? To be more capable. And that was our first retreat. And the amount of things that we're going to be able to do in the future is just it's unlimited. So yeah, if you're watching this and you're a man or you're a woman that has a man that needs that in his life, please send them our way. And it's not about making money off you. It is about creating a community, right? It's funny because I have a lot of guys in my comments or in my DMs that are like, "Oh, he's grifting because he's charging for this or whatever." It's like, first of all, what gym do you go to that's free? Let's be real right now, because I'm not building a digital chat. I'm building a physical organization, and it costs money to run that organization, and it's coming out of my pocket, my own time, my own money, my own resources to build it, right? But what's really funny, dude, is the amount of women that are in my DMs as well that are like, "Hey, all of these beta cuck pussy guys, I want to donate to this. I want to donate to the organization so that you can get them in so they can stop being pussies. I want to donate to the organization so that we can help fund retreats and help with, the organization moving forward." The women are standing up. So it's funny, dude. I actually had this one guy in my DMs that was being a total asshole. He was like accusing me of being a grifter and, just saying all these ridiculous things about it and like gatekeeping the brotherhood and blah, blah, blah. So this lady donated like $500 or something like that to the group. So I messaged him and I was like, "Hey bro, I got good news for you. You're being sponsored by a woman. Here's your link. How does that make you feel?" And he never answered back. But point of it is the Modern Exodus is a men's group. It is not a coaching group. We do have, I didn't even mention this, but we do have like experts in different fields. So we have specific channels for tactical, emotional, social, financial. We are basically doing everything we can to give everybody in that group an unfair advantage in this modern decaying world. And then outside of that, we are meeting in person and we are building strong brotherhood nationwide and worldwide. That's what the Modern Exodus is.
That's awesome, man. Well, let's say iron sharpens iron, right?
That's right. That's
All
right.
right. Well, Ian, thank you, man, for coming on. I
Thanks for
enjoyed
having
the
me.
conversation.
Yeah.
We hope to stay in touch with you, have you on again.
Yeah.
Everybody definitely follow Ian. He's got great content, great information that he gives, and dude, I think you're more than worth a follow, dude, for real.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. You guys keep on doing what you're doing, man. It's important, right? Just like we've talked about, what we're all doing is important. So keep on doing what you're doing. Stay consistent. Don't let the expediency and the idea of getting something faster than you deserve it take you over like a lot of other people. Stay consistent, stay strong, and keep fighting for us. Keep fighting for America, because that's all that matters right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
All right,
Dan,
everybody.
you
Thanks
guys.
for tuning in. Peace be with you. I'll catch you on the next one.
Peace
Later.
be with you.